My name is Matthew Dashby Hughes. I'm a Sandler trainer, which means that I work in the space of personal professional development for business people who want to grow their businesses, which means that I help people with their mindset, with their techniques and all that kind of good stuff. But being somebody who invests in personal development or asks other people to invest in their personal development, I'm kind of committed to doing the same thing myself. So when I realized that maybe the waistline was not quite where I wanted it to be, I kind of started looking around to see who I could potentially work with to help me to achieve some goals. And Dave came very, very highly recommended from some people that I really respect and I value their opinions. So hence, he and I worked together for a 3-month period, and well, the rest, as they say, is history. That's a good question, because the thing is with all of these things, and I think we all know what it is we need to do, but for some reason we don't always do the things we know we need to do. So this is the problem. Like, as human beings, we're often our own worst enemy. I mean, when it comes to health and fitness, really, I mean, Billy Connolly summed it up in 4 words: eat less, move more. It shouldn't really be that difficult, should it? But for some reason it is, and it's usually this thing up here. It's unlocking whatever's standing in your way. So I got to the stage where probably hadn't done any really serious kind of consistent exercise for probably about 8 years. I mean, I did plenty of stuff like going out and walking on hills and generally kind of enjoying what I do, but wasn't consistent. And certainly the food was, I like food. And a plate that's in front of you, you kind of need to empty it. It's there to be eaten, and I enjoy that experience. So yeah, basically I needed somebody to help me to kind of unlock some of the challenges that I've got on that side of things, and that was really very, very helpful, setting goals and having somebody that I was accountable to. So really useful. Most people at some stage have done something, and I've had those kind of moments in my life where I've just thought, ooh, the waistband's a little bit tighter than it should be. I'll go on a diet. And you do for a few weeks, and you watch what you eat, and you're a bit careful about it. Maybe you just start doing a little bit more exercise, and you shed a few pounds, you start feeling good about it, you get complacent, and then lo and behold, 10 seconds later you're back to where you were, pushing maximum density, which is not a good thing. I mean, the way it affects day-to-day life when you're not feeling at your best is it starts to deplete your energy levels. You maybe don't feel like you can show up and be truly present for all the things that are important in your life. Loved ones tend to be the ones who bear the brunt of it, because you go at it hell for leather for work, and then by the time you get to the evening, frankly, you're too knackered to actually be properly present for the people who really matter. So it's one of those things that where you kind of think, well, this is starting to affect the stuff that really matters. And then, of course, you've also got the fact that, I'm not getting any younger. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like quite, getting a bus pass just yet. But, I'm thick end of, heading downhill very, very quickly towards 50. Before I know it, I'm going to be heading downhill towards 60 and then 70 and then hopefully a little bit older than that as well. We never quite know how long we've got on this planet, but hopefully I'd like to be around here for a few more years, and I'd quite like to be in a position where I'm hale and hearty and I've got energy to be present for grandchildren, great nieces, great nephews, as and when I get those sort of blessings in my life. So it's just one of those things that just focuses your mind a little bit, really. It wasn't going to be long before I did start feeling bad with it, and probably to the point where I thought, if I don't do something about it now, it's going to be so much harder to do it in 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years. In 10 years, will I even be able to do anything about it, or have I left it too late at that point? And I'm 47 going on 48, and I'm pretty sure I blinked and hang on a minute, I'm sure I was only 37, 38 5 seconds ago. How did that happen? So 10 years goes very, very fast. So I was just very mindful of that. So it was a case of get a grip of it now while I can. No, I didn't, if I'm honest with you. I mean, basically, you and I had a really good session where we just kind of got to know each other a little bit, kind of what I'd call a chemistry test when you're sort of working with a coach, and certainly what I'd always encourage my clients to do is to kind of meet with me first and have a little bit of a discovery meeting, see whether we have a fit, and it just it just seemed to really gel. And I'm a huge believer in investing in your own personal development and having somebody who's like an accountability partner who can, you know, I suppose, call you on your own nonsense. It's very careful not to say a rude word there, but basically who will call you out on these things. So when you're sort of lying to yourself or you're being slightly delusional, we'll ask you the questions to help you self-discover that. And it's really where all the accelerators are for you in anything you want to achieve. And if you want to achieve anything in business, you get a coach or a mentor or a trainer to assist you with that. If you want to achieve something in sports, guess what? You get yourself a coach. If you want to achieve weight loss and really, you know, help with the health side of things, you get a coach. So no, I didn't have any concerns, but only because it's something that I'm hugely committed to in every other aspect of my life, really. The key thing for me is it wasn't faddy. There was credibility to it because it was all based in reality. And when I say based in reality, I mean the reality of my own life. So it wasn't something I was going to have to try and squeeze in. It was something that, you know, works because it actually fits. So yes, you know, look at what you eat and maybe sort of look at your calorie intake and look at the nutritional value in what you're eating. I mean, I've always eaten pretty well, but I know now that I eat really well now, because of the work that we did together, just to kind of tweak it here and there, make sure, and it's all done in little steps, so it's all manageable. It's all kind of stuff you can accommodate into the day-to-day. So as you do all these little things, you're getting the compound interest effect of doing the right things. And that was really the thing I was looking for, is help me to identify the right things to get the compound interest benefit from. I guess to a certain extent, it's all about the mindset of these things. And you're absolutely right that actually busy is probably true for 99% of people. You know, Parkinson's law, you know, whatever you've got to do will expand to fill the time that you've got. But, you know, it's interesting. The stuff that really matters, you will find time for. So the question is, why does this really matter? You know, let's set a goal here, but let's set a vision as to why this matters. You know, what is it that's going to be my constant true north that's going to keep me going in the right direction here? So once you've set that, you've set the agenda, and you know what it is that you've got to do and why it is you're doing it, so that actually there's a real driver there. You'll find ways to fit it in that actually really is relatively easy to accommodate. So, I mean, just simple things like finding a local gym that opens at 6 a.m. Now, I'm an early riser anyway, but rather than sort of standing around in my kitchen, you know, doom scrolling on my phone, why can't I be down the gym actually, you know, using a treadmill and all that kind of stuff, listening to something useful on my headphones? You know, I'm getting a hell of a lot more done practically, and I'm getting a hell of a lot more done in terms of, you know, shedding a few pounds. So if it's important to you, you'll find a way of doing it. That's the bottom line. My trousers fit better. Sorry. No, I mean, there's a bunch of things really. I mean, what I am finding is that, yes, I get to a Friday evening and I'm still ready for a little bit of a sit down, ready for a bit of a chill out, but a lot less brain dead than I was. You know, I'm actually able to hold a sensible conversation with my wife on a Friday evening, which up until 3 months ago when we started the program, probably, you know, she wasn't getting a whole lot of sense out of me by that time in the week. So, you know, my clients were getting the best of me, which is no bad thing, but, you know, at the same time, you know, it's quite important to be able to show up for the people that matter, right? It's really down to what's important to them, isn't it? I mean, ultimately, you know, there's so many things out there where we know what we should do, we know how we should feel, and we know the things that we should be doing to be able to kind of generate more energy and generally feel better about ourselves and to live longer and live healthier and all those kinds of good things. But, you know, it's always just more tempting to have that extra piece of cake, or, you know, just to kind of, I'm just going to chill out tonight, I'm just going to have a beer and a pizza and all that kind of thing. And don't get me wrong, you're still allowed to do that. That's part of life. You've got to be able to, it's about finding that balance. So I guess what I'd say is, if you have struggled to find that balance, if you've struggled to really stick to things before, or to really keep the promises you make to yourself, because sometimes it's dead easy to keep promises you make to other people, not so easy to keep the promises you make to yourself, then I would urge you to kind of consider getting that help, that assistance, just to kind of, I guess, have somebody else who's going to stand shoulder to shoulder with you and help you get to where you need to get to. And really, I mean, I've met lots and lots of coaches. I am one, not in the fitness area, but I can honestly say Dave does a fantastic job, and he'll work with you, and he won't insult your intelligence, but he'll work with you in a way that's going to genuinely help you to get to your goals. So if you've got goals, you want to achieve them, get yourself a decent coach, and you really could do a whole lot worse than talking to Dave. I was really delighted, if I'm honest with you. I was just shy of 90 kilos, which is 89.9 kilos is where I was, which is, for somebody of my frame, because I'm not like a big built guy. I was carrying it all on my front and on my back, and a little bit around the jowls here, and it was not healthy weight. I think it's something in the order of 14.5 stone now, which for a guy in my frame is not great. So I got that down to 78.5 kilos, which is a significant drop. So that's down to, I think it's 12.3 stone, something like that. So it's a big old drop. It's just over 2 stone, I think. So something in that order anyway, which is in 13 weeks, sounds really quite impressive. But I've got to say, as I was doing it, none of it was particularly felt challenging, because it was all those little incremental things. And that's the key thing. It's very sustainable. It's about consistently doing the right things. So I was really delighted with that. To be honest with you, I feel fantastic. And actually, this was never about the aesthetics of it. It was always more about the energy levels and the feel. But I mean, one of the sort of weird, I suppose, side effects of this, positive side effects, is that actually I'm a lot more kind of comfortable in my own skin. Possibly because there's less of it. So I'm kind of, like yesterday morning, went away for the weekend with friends of ours, and got in the pool, actually went swimming, which I'm not a natural swimmer anyway, it's just not my thing. But also, being in front of other people wearing, nothing but swimming shorts is not something I'd have been very comfortable with. I've certainly been very conscious of the fact that bits of me were wobbling that shouldn't be wobbling, if you see what I mean. Yeah, I'm looking a lot like a beached whale here, that kind of thing. So no, it was quite nice, just to have that level of confidence to go, yeah, no, sod it, I'll get the swimming shorts on and go dive in the pool. It won't be won't be embarrassing. It's having fun doing something serious, and actually, being able to talk to yourself on a weekly basis, kind of being able to just check in, see where we're up to. I'm a hugely target-driven person, so the fact that there's nice little kind of numbers and I can sort of see a graph going down in the right direction, all of those things are good. It's just measure it, manage it. It's an enjoyable process actually, because you start to feel like you're achieving things without necessarily feeling like it's like ridiculously hard work, if that makes sense.